Hi, Hal.
Happening?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays. I'm very excited.
We're excited.
The
Listen, it's
Yes.
coming. It's this Saturday.
Yes,
The Christmas,
right.
the Sexy Liberal Virtual Christmas Extravaganza, best of, with some new Christmas bits sprinkled in. Hang on. Chris writes, Stephanie, Chris, Travis, Sean, just wanted to email again to say thank you for so much needed joy, laughter, positivity, etc. in 2020. We'll soon be having another great Sexy Liberal holiday season. Got Chris's Christmas tree candle.
Oh,
There's Christmas tree scent?
yes. I think you
Want,
have it.
must have. Okay, we'll soon be having another great Sexy Liberal holiday. I got the Sexy Liberal 2020 holiday gift package too. Oh my God, that's all 6 Sexy Liberal.
Yep.
Now for something that might give you as much joy you've given me and my family. Below is a link to the story with the headline, MAGA protesters chant destroy the GOP at pro-Trump rally. Yes, we played that. Thank you. That Christmas and me. We both came early. And now here's a question for Hal Sparks. What did he think of SNL members dressing up as COVID-19 for their Rona family Christmas sketch? Does he feel they ripped him off too?
You mean from my very first sketch from our Sexy Liberal virtual tour months and months ago?
Uh-huh.
No one will ever play coronavirus the way Hal Sparks did with his disgusting, freaky pizza face.
Right. Thank you very much. It's not the first time I've accidentally ghost-written on a show like SNL. It's nice. You know what I mean? It's
nice homage.
Yeah, exactly. I don't mind.
A nice
really.
royalty-free homage to the things we're doing.
That's right. It just cements my position in history as a comedy writer. But there's a certain like I will always leave a certain ground for overlap in that there are only so many things between. However, in these cases, it's clear they're like, oh, we got to do something, and they've been sitting on some stuff that we've already done.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like what's next is Disney World's going to do like a animatronic. What's your preacher guy?
Which one? Robert Tilton?
Ken Copeland. Ken Copeland. They're going to do like an animatronic, like maniacally laughing.
Right. Well, I mean, he already is made of silicone.
Yes.
We do know this. I mean, there's like the crevices in that man's face reach the back of his actual skull. Honest to God, like children scream less seeing the skeletons in the Pirates of the Caribbean.
It haunts my dreams. Just the ha ha ha. $25. If you could just send me $25 right now.
$20. You want $20? Because that's. I mean, I have to do research for these characters. We don't just willy-nilly just go. Well, what's he look like? I'll just go with it. Well, you watch enough of these guys, you're like, the jokes write themselves. and he on his entire ministry is like a big Jesus QVC.
Yeah.
Where he's the closer that gets you to buy the Jesus that cleans your gutters.
Don't you feel
he's like selling Jesus as a timeshare.
Don't you feel like you need to do Jesus the Pillow Guy for the Christmas special?
Oh God.
Yeah, right.
You retweeted Howard someone. I love his pillows. I love his sheet. I love his mattress topper. The Kraken has been released. You're part of the Kraken. So for the best deals to support this Patriot, use the code Kraken at mypillow.com. And you said no, not embarrassing at all. That's
no. Well, most people, I don't know, but like how much people have been following this because on my live stream every day, I go through the live stuff and all the way through, which is a horrifying endeavor most of the time, by the way.
Yes.
And Mike Pillow, as I love to call him, is paying for the March for Trump. It's a rolling infomercial. It's as if the Mike Pillow bus rolls up at your house and offers free pillows to everyone in your house because they signed up using your promo code. He's just doing that in the guise of helping Trump because of the automatic audience it gives him. And he's done the math on it. I mean, as coked out as he is, allegedly, he's done the math on it. And if he gets one of his pillows in every MAGA household,
right,
that's his industry. That's all he needs for the rest of his life, and that's what he's all in on.
Right. Well, you're a helper on Twitter. Trump tweeted if failing Governor Brian Kemp would allow signature verification, David and Kelly would win, and you said he did. That's how everyone knows you lost. Pack your. I think it's nice to give him a heads up on the packing because he's probably not.
And again, talking about what you were saying is people taking stuff straight from me. News reports that they are packing their.
Boop.
Yeah, they are indeed packing their boots.
Yeah, this stuff, but it goes more to the point how that they did signature verification.
Yes.
They're saying like, oh, it's the states that changed their laws on whatever. I'm just reading in the Supreme Court. The lawsuit made no mention of the fact that Texas Governor Greg Abbott, a Republican and not the state legislature, altered election rules unilaterally because of the pandemic. And the states that Trump won, they're not protesting the mail-in votes there. It's just the mail. I see, just where he lost.
Well, that's because in the red states, they were able to throw out a large portion of the mail-in ballots based on very loose signature standards. They widened those standards so that they were so tight that if you didn't match almost identical, like if it was in a rubber stamp of your signature, they would throw it out. All the red Pennsylvania counties that the two guys that actually Rudy sued because they didn't get their ballots cured like the people in Philadelphia did. Philadelphia somebody called you up. Is this your ballot? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. We're going to include it because you verified it, came down, showed ID. They didn't offer that in red counties because they were trying to discount as many mail-in votes as possible. Texas did that a ton. I think Trump's just mad he spent all his money on ES&S machines and forgot to bribe Dominion, and then he's mad that he lost the state. He was all in on bribing Florida and Ohio and Kentucky just to save face.
Yeah, and Pennsylvania's brief in particular called it out. Texas's effort to get this court to pick the next president has no basis in law or fact. The court should abide the court should not abide the seditious abuse of the judicial process. Should send a clear and unmistakable signal that such abuse must never be replicated. And, that's why, Hal, there's got to be consequences for this. We can't just, this, and let's just move on. Because it's become in their bloodstream now that anytime a Democrat wins, it's illegitimate. I mean, if this had been any closer, they would have found a way to steal it.
Well,
right?
and it wasn't close. It wasn't close
at all.
by even the number that was counted. And there was a ton. I almost S-tonned. There was an S-ton of extra ballots that were thrown out, like I said, in states like Florida, Ohio, Texas, Kentucky, Tennessee, that were a bunch of mail-in ballots, and that scared the hell out of them because all the story that Rudy tells you about how they were printing ballots in the middle of the night, the reason he's saying that is because that's what they were doing. They were throwing out ballots in the middle of the night in all the red states to lower the overall count because Biden was going to win by 8 to 10 million. And even though he wouldn't take some of those states, the overall raise of the votes over the rest of those states would be an enormous number. There was a blue tsunami.
Yeah.
You never forget that.
Yeah.
And that's why he won by 7,306,000, which is exactly how I called it. I also called Biden-Harris this time last year.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. This is why
it
will never cease being.
Lose. They're going to lose.
Okay. It doesn't ever cease to be new to me how completely crazy the person with the nuclear codes still is. And because the gaslighting is, just listen.
Do you worry about the country being divided as if it goes to inauguration and they still feel that way and you still feel that way?
No, I worry about the country having an illegitimate president. That's what I worry about. A president that lost badly. This wasn't like a close election.
Dude, that's what we worried about in 2016. You lost by 3 million votes. We had the same concerns. And the rest of us sucked it up and went along with the fact that you could write these, you could get a bill passed. Thank God he was such a lazy narcissist.
Right.
If he'd have had any actual work ethic, we as a country would be screwed because he would have passed some of these bills using McConnell and entrenched these things in law for a long while. But he just wrote a bunch of EOs and went golfing. And that in and of itself is probably the biggest saving grace of Trump's presidency.
Yeah,
no,
it's true.
He's just too lazy to do the work.
Yeah.
And he's still too lazy to do the work. How many lids has he had since the election? More than Biden had since the primary. And Biden was meeting with his pandemic team, starting a transition, actually having long phone calls with governors that, Trump pretended to have.
This is what,
my God.
Because you do the best baby voice. So this was my favorite. The president will not be coming down to speak to the holiday party Friday night because he was upstairs.
Just, he was nyuck-nyucking up in like with Sean Hannity. Like it was, I mean, that man's just must like suck the remote on the television when he gets sad. It's, you know what I mean? Like some kids do a whoopee. He must just like. Is there a nibbled end of the remote in his house at all times where he just kind of like, why is Dad? Barron's just going, Dad, why is the remote wet again? I was watching me.
What's funny about that is like Barron lives anywhere near him, but okay, that's funny.
I'm kidding.
Okay,
It's yeah. Well, I'm picturing him at 35 years old trying to, salvage the company from the ashes that his uncles created.
Oh,
right,
God.
right. You tweeted Trump is afraid to fire Barr because of what he knows. That's why he only says things about him in public that he screams at his in private. That do you think he screams at his D?
Well, he's angry with it for not performing. You know what I mean? And that's basically everything he said about Bill Barr. He says, right after attempted sex, to his penis. And and the weirdest thing is, do you remember when they installed Barr and everybody was like, he's a traditionalist, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then Trump immediately started using him as his personal Roy Cohn.
Yeah.
And we all realized it was a trap. And then now it's inverted because Barr cares, just like Amy Coney Barrett and Brett Kavanaugh and Gorsuch. They care about their own legacy going forward more than they care about him, and he literally can't process it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that they're like, thanks for the lifetime appointment, sucker.
Yep. Bye. And the worst rebuke of his court case of his, where he like even in that Kilmeade interview, I think it was like they won't even let us present our evidence.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
we have
did.
that. We have that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Which one's that?
That's the one where he's like,
oh yeah, five. Here we go. Yeah. Oh no, let's hear baby again.
Yeah.
We've proven it, but no judge has had the courage, including the Supreme Court. I am so disappointed in them. No judge, including the Supreme Court of the United States, has had the courage to allow it to be heard. The Supreme Court, all they did is say, we don't have standing. So they're saying essentially that the President of the United States and Texas and these other states, great states, they don't have standing. They didn't go into the evidence. If you would look at the evidence, thousands of pages of evidence, we have over 1,000 affidavits from people that saw tens of thousands of ballots.
No, my.
Gotcha.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Okay, look, I have this, I don't know if it's a masochistic reflex or something. It's just like I miss being touched so much because of the pandemic that I'll even take the spanking abuse of watching, a Rudy Giuliani, L. Lynn Powell, Sidney Linwood video. But I have watched all their evidence, and I have watched their entire gatherings in front of Georgia legislature, in front of Michigan, and the Pennsylvania people they dragged out to the Ramada.
Right.
They don't. None of this is true.
We just played Rudy Giuliani saying these are very sound allegations. They may or may not be true.
Right. Yes. And by the way, spoiler alert, not.
Yeah.
It may not.
I understand. I hear that you killed Ruth Gordon. I mean, I don't know if it's true, Hal, but it's a sound allegation. I hear you rolled her in the clover.
I rolled her in the clover. Ha, cha, 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 cha. Jelly Roll killed my mama. Drove my daddy stone blind. You go to church tomorrow. You too. I
love winding up my Hal toy for Christmas.
And I love that it's the any which way you can Ruth Gordon and not like the Rosemary's Baby Ruth Gordon.
Although she's just as funny. I will argue that Ruth Gordon is just as funny if in your life you are of the age that I am, which means you watched Ruth Gordon in Every Which Way But Loose before you saw Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
And in which case, it's always funny.
All right. Just like you, Hal Sparks.
Yes.
Always funny.